Now, obviously, buying video game collections can net you that nice hidden gem you've always wanted for your collection, but I think a kind of underrated bonus is the fact that occasionally you'll find half-eaten Luigi's Mansion. Hey there, kiddos, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank, hoping that you are having a great day, and in today's video, I'd like to sit back in my very squeaky chair, relax, and have a little conversation with all of you guys about bulk. That's right. This is my follow-up video to a video from the other day where I started answering an individual's pointed questions about how I do things here in the garage, behind the scenes. Content creation was the subject of the first video, and in this video, I'm going over, once again, my overall process for sorting and sifting through bulk. Now, I do primarily deal with bulk here on the channel. I think it's no secret that I love bulk. I love the sorting process. I love just sifting through cards in general, and it is 99% of the volume I deal with on TCG Player. And over the years, my actual process has changed, but not a whole lot, that needs to be said. And the other thing that needs to be said is that this is more or less just how I do things for TCG Player. I do not list bulk on eBay because, in my opinion, that site is not very friendly towards bulk listings. TCG Player makes it really easy, really convenient to list thousands of cards in a very small amount of time, whereas eBay kind of doesn't. So with that said and done, I do have a process that I follow pretty rigidly when it comes to bulk. It's a 5-step process from start to finish, from acquisition to listing. Now, some steps can be skipped right in the beginning, but for the most part, I am doing a few different things, 5 things total, after I get a big old box of cards. Now, the first thing that should be noted is the step number 1 can be skipped. Step number 1 is sorting things by game, but I don't always have to do that. You see, when you're getting as much bulk as I do, more often than not, you're usually only getting bulk from one person for one game. A lot of individuals who sell their bulk to me personally are only interested in 1 or 2 games at most. So a lot of times I'll get someone dropping off a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, or a lot of Pokemon cards, a lot of Force of Will cards, a lot of Flesh and Blood cards, some sorcery, some Lorcana here and there, but they'll all be separated already by the game itself. So while step 1 is to go through any unsorted bulk, a lot of the time you'll find that it's already been separated by game. Now, of course, that isn't every time, that isn't all of the pickups I've had. So of course, step one is to just go through the unsifted bulk and make sure it's all separated by game, whether that be Pokemon, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever. Just make sure everything is in a nice pile by itself. Step 2, of course, is to go through, choose a game, whichever one you have the largest pile for, obviously. That's in my experience, getting rid of the biggest pile first is the healthiest choice you could make. Go through it and organize it. This is honestly going to be the harder part for most of the card games, organizing it by set. The older a card game is, the more difficult this gets, because you'll find that you can have, for Yu-Gi-Oh example, dozens of piles spread across the table, trying to figure out which cards go to which set. How you do this obviously is going to be up to you. Do you want to put all the Y sets in one stack and then break it down further? It can be a multi-step process for you. It is for me sometimes, especially again, like with Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic, for instance. There's a bunch of Magic sets that start with like M, M10, M11, etc., M15. There's a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh sets that will all start with the same number for their set code. And there's dozens of sets for these card games. So I often find when I'm going through these bulk lots and I'm just organizing them by set, first I have to organize them by the first letter in the set and then go through that pile again and go, all right, so this is started at Joey, this is started at Pegasus, this is structured at 7 because it's all the decks in one pile. You get me, you understand what I'm saying. But yeah, part 2 is to organize everything by set and then make sure that it's all separated. So use whatever divider you want to do, whether that's a card and a sleeve or an actual dedicated divider, to get all of the sets separated in whatever box you're using to store this stuff. Part 3, section number 3, I lost my train of thought there. Step number 3 is to go through it and alphabetize. This is honestly the easiest part, in my opinion, because alphabetizing for every card game is so fun, so easy. You get to go through all the cards, learn their names. This is honestly the part where I find myself stopping and reading them the most often when I'm organizing them alphabetically. I will go through, and just as I'm sifting through the cards, I'm putting them in the slots on the sorting tray. And I always recommend using one of these sorting trays, labeled, of course. It makes the process fast and easy. But I'll often find when I'm alphabetizing cards that I'm just going through and, oh, what's this do? Oh, neat. You'll find yourself looking at a lot of cards during this process that you otherwise would have never paid attention to, like casually, just out of sheer curiosity, because you're sifting through thousands of cards. You're going to stop every so often and go, hey, what's this do? What's this good for? What decks can I play this card in? It's really fun, I think, just to take a quick break as you're sifting and sorting to get an appreciation for a lot of the bulk that you're looking through. But after it's all alphabetized, here's where some of the new changes I've made come in. Because it used to be that after it was alphabetized, I would do my best to just quickly add it to the inventory as is and count it and add it at the same time. But as time has passed, I have found that that has become less and less convenient. So now, step 4 is to count everything. I will go through the now alphabetized set and just make a little quick list like this. This is I think this is our Arthurian Legends. I'll make a list of all the bulk cards, all the commons and uncommons. Although I think for Sorcerer they call it ordinary and exceptional, I think is their phrase for common and uncommon respectively. The point is, I'll make a quick list of all the cards I have found in that bulk pile and how many copies of each one I have before adding it to the inventory. And the reason I do that is because I won't always have time. There's 2 reasons, actually. One, I won't always have time to quickly go through and as I'm adding things to the inventory, count it, put it in the box, move on, count it, put it in the box, move on. Sorry, I don't have a drink of water out here with me. Crap. So I won't always have time to do that because that is a time counting the cards and adding them. It's quick for a certain amount of cards, but once you get to thousands of cards you're adding at one time, it takes up a lot of time, especially if you're like over 800 cards. If you have one box to go through, sure, you can count it and add it to the inventory in the same step. But once you're dealing with thousands of cards, you're going to want to write it out in advance because there's all kinds of things that can go wrong. You can be pulled away. The internet could go off. Just the other day, while I was working with the inventory, a storm actually knocked out the power here in the garage. Had I not had a list done, I would have been halfway through counting cards, adding them to the inventory, only to lose power and have to start from scratch. That would have been awful. But now that I've started writing things down well in advance, it's not a problem. And then, of course, step number 5 is actually adding it to the inventory. Take the list, take the number, write the number down on the TCG Player input page. It honestly is that simple. But, of course, there's things to account for. First things first is I do have hard limits for how many copies of a card usually go into an inventory. It depends on the card game, obviously. For Yu-Gi-Oh, for instance, while I will write down that I have 60 copies of a card, only 20 are going to go up online at any given time. That gives this accomplishes 2 things. One, it allows me to set aside cards for my own bulk lot sales down the road because I do like to get enough cards and just sell them myself. I like to buy and sell bulk, obviously. But 2, it also prevents huge buyouts from happening all at once. You know, if your entire inventory goes online all in one shot and there's a sudden buyout and that card suddenly skyrockets because of a buyout, there is the chance that you could miss out on potential value all in one shot. Meanwhile, if you, say, have 60 cards and you only list 20 of those copies, well, 20 get bought out all in one go. That'll key you into the chance that something is going on. And this has happened a lot, especially with Yu-Gi-Oh! With Yu-Gi-Oh! I will very often find that if there's a quick buyout, a card can radically go up in price 20, 30, 50% in a very small amount of time. Now, obviously, for bulk cards, that's not a huge increase in value, but it is substantial enough that if you have dozens of copies of a card in your inventory, that value does add up, and when you're in the business of bulk, every penny does end up counting at the end of the day. Another good reason to hold some cards in reserve is things just go wrong. You will miscount things. Obviously, no one's perfect. You will miscount cards. I don't care if you are the craziest guy with the best memory or if you have a machine actually doing the counting for you. Things will go missing. You will think you have so many cards available, but you don't actually have that many available. Things will go missing in transit. You will send out an order. Some cards will either be torn out of the package by unscrupulous individuals, or the entire package itself could go missing. You'll get a guy contacting you saying, hey, the package never showed up, or it showed up with missing cards, whatever. Having extra cards on standby that you didn't add all to the inventory in one go ensures that when things like that happen, you will have a little buffer of cards to satisfy orders that have had problems. So there's a few good reasons for it. You can miscount. There could be a buyout that you want to capitalize on, and just covering up mistakes or accidents. The final thing I want to talk about is kind of agnostic to each of the 5 steps, is that as I'm going every step of the way, I'm always double checking for damaged cards, marked cards, things that I can't list. When it comes to TCG Player, for 99% of the time, I will not bother listing cards that are not in near mint condition, or at least cards that I think are in near mint condition. Obviously, I try to avoid any dents, scratches, but if I miss something, it is what it is. I'm not perfect. I don't think anyone's perfect. So obviously, if I see an obvious dent on a card, an obvious scratch on a card, an obvious mark, I pull it out. And I do this every step of the way. I'm always keeping an eye out, regardless of which step of the process I'm on, for damaged cards. It used to be, when I was just starting out, and I think this is something that a lot of people do, I have had to actively avoid doing this. It used to be that when I first got a bulk collection, I would go through it and look for anything that was more than like $1. I would look for any value there so I could try to recoup my expenses as fast as possible by listing the more expensive cards first. But I have found that that tends to be a drain on time, because if instead of going through the collection looking for the valuable cards first, you just naturally go through the collection and organize it all and add it as fast as you can, as efficiently as you can, less time is going to be wasted going through the collection effectively twice, because you are effectively going through those cards an extra time that you don't need to at the end of the day still get that card listed on your inventory. Sure, occasionally you will see this super expensive, super rare card in the bulk collection that you just really want to add now, but the time spent looking through and finding and pulling out those cards could just be as well spent getting everything added to your inventory, everything sorted, everything gone through. Now, that is not to say that I won't pull out random stuff. I mean, I'm going through the sorcery collection, and I found... this was actually just found today. You can't really... yeah, the camera kind of picks up. There's a nice crimped card here that I found in the sorcery pile as I was adding it to the inventory. I didn't notice for like the entire stage of the process up until I started counting the cards, and I was like, oh, that's a crimped card. I'm pulling that aside. So that is a reminder that you will find mistakes, errors, etc., even in the last stage of the process, so keep an eye out. But aside from that, yeah, I'll find that once you get a system down, once I got my system down, once I got it hammered down, I had to make very few changes to it over time. I need water. And it's very... I don't want to say it's the most efficient, because I don't think any system created by man is the most efficient. But I found that for my purposes, it's very efficient, very relaxing, and very fun. If you're the kind of person who, like me, likes sorting through cards. Thousands of cards a day. So that's all I got to say. That's my current bulk sorting process. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below if you like sorting or collecting or whatever. Have you check out the Discord, check out the Patreon. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.